It was my wedding day. I stood in my dress, veil pinned perfectly, when my phone buzzed. I smiled, thinking it was a message from Mom. Instead, it was a short text from Kyla. "You're no longer needed at Agilent Technologies. Good luck." If you like our revenge stories, please subscribe for more. We drop powerful news stories every week, filled with truth, emotion, and justice. Don't miss the next one. And remember, some stories hurt, but they heal too. Subscribe now and join the journey. Kyla, the CEO's girlfriend. The same woman who asked me last week how my project was going. I had just finished a revolutionary logistics algorithm. The company said it was too expensive. Now it was clear. She wanted it. I dropped the phone. My husband, Adam, caught my hand. "What's wrong?" I didn't want to ruin the day, so I smiled. But inside I knew. I had just lost my job, my dream, and maybe my future. Or so I thought. A week later, headlines appeared. Agilent unveils $441 million AI breakthrough. My algorithm. My work. My design. And Kyla? Front and center doing interviews. Calling it her vision. She barely knew what an API was. Yet she smiled like she wrote every line of code. Ryan Alex stood beside her like a proud CEO boyfriend. I wanted to scream. But I stayed quiet. I gathered every document. Emails. Drafts. Time-stamped files. My NDA. Her edits. I printed it all. Then I called someone I hadn't spoken to in years. Amira, now CTO at Airborne Incorporated. She answered with a laugh. "Gracia? Please tell me you're finally ready to burn bridges." I smiled. If you like our revenge stories, please subscribe for more. We drop powerful news stories every week, filled with truth, emotion, and justice. Don't miss the next one. And remember, some stories hurt, but they heal too. Subscribe now and join the journey. No. I'm ready to build better ones. Kyla didn't look at me when I entered the room. She sat behind Ryan's desk like it already belonged to her. "I've spoken with Ryan," she said, pretending to be polite. "He agrees your position is no longer needed." My heart dropped. "No longer needed? I'm taking over your project," she added casually. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." I couldn't believe it. The coding system I had spent 2 years building was being taken over by her. Ryan wouldn't even face me himself. I packed up my things, holding back tears. My access was cut within minutes. No goodbye from the team. No explicación. Only silence. I walked out of Agilent Technologies Incorporated feeling used. They stole my idea, my work, and my time. But they didn't steal my brain. And they didn't know I had backups. Encrypted. Hidden. Safe. I just needed time. And revenge would take precision. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But they had crossed the line. And I wasn't going to let Kyla and Ryan get away with it. I went straight home and opened my old laptop. Not the company one. This was my personal device. Inside was everything I had built. Designs, prototypes, code, and testing results. My project had started long before I joined Agilent. They didn't own the idea. I did. I renamed every folder, encrypted each file, and stored them in multiple cloud locations. Just in case. I knew Ryan would try to lock me out completely. But I had been careful. I called the only person I trusted. Liam, my old college friend. He now worked at Airborne Incorporated, a rising tech company known for its ethics and speed. When he picked up, I said one word. "Ready." He replied instantly, "Let's build." I smiled for the first time in days. Liam had always believed in me. Now we had a new mission. Rebuild my platform under a new name. Better, faster, smarter. They thought they erased me. But I was just getting started. And this time I wasn't building for them. I was building for myself. Airborne Incorporated welcomed me like family. No questions, no doubts, just support. Liam introduced me to 2 brilliant minds. Jada, a security expert, and Marcus, a cloud architect. They didn't care about titles or resumes. They cared about what we were building. I told them everything. How Kyla stole my work, how Ryan stood by, and how my $441 million idea was being rebranded under Kyla's name. Marcus leaned back and said, "Let's take it back." We named the project Nova Key. It would outpace anything Agilent had. Jada handled security, Liam took data structures, and I rewrote every single line of code. We didn't sleep much, but we didn't complain. We were building a storm, and Agilent had no idea. Within 3 weeks, we had a working prototype. Better UI, smarter AI integration, seamless user flow. And most importantly, proof. Proof that this was my invention from the start. I documented every change, every test, every login. If they wanted a war, I would fight it legally, quietly, and thoroughly. They fired me like I was nothing. Now I was about to show them exactly what they lost. I returned from my honeymoon with a wide smile. But my keycard no longer worked. Security stopped me at the door. "Sorry, Gracia. You're not on the system anymore," one guard said. I thought it was a mistake. Called Ryan. No answer. I emailed HR. They replied, "Your role has been dissolved." I was shocked. I checked LinkedIn. And there it was. Kyla, the CEO's girlfriend, was now listed as the Chief Innovation Officer. My title. My department. My project. I sat in my car frozen. Then I saw her post. Excited to lead Agilent's future with a $441 million breakthrough. It was my work. My months of sleepless nights testing, designing, and coding. The blueprint I had hidden in my personal drawer. She stole everything. And Ryan let her. I called Agilent's lawyer. "You have no case. Everything you built belongs to the company," he said coldly. But she wasn't even employed. She didn't write a single line of code. Talked to Ryan. Ryan never responded. Kyla updated the project's name, gave it a shiny new logo, and announced it in magazines. I read an article calling her a tech genius. I felt invisible. Helpless. I told my mom. She cried. Then my old coworker Liza called. "Gracia, you weren't crazy. I saw Kyla walking into your office while you were away. She took your files." That night, I opened an old laptop and found my backup. I had proof. I just needed the right ally. Airborne Incorporated was a secretive startup I'd heard of, founded by outcasts from major tech companies. They were known for launching quiet revolutions. I sent them an email. "I have proof my $441 million innovation was stolen." I didn't expect a reply. But 2 hours later, I got a response from Mira Zhou, their head of strategy. "Meet us tomorrow." I walked into a quiet cafe. Mira wore jeans and a sharp look. I showed her everything. Code versions, original sketches, date stamps. She leaned back. "This isn't just theft. It's fraud." I whispered, "I want to build it again. Better." Mira grinned. "Then let's make it fly." Airborne was in. We started in a warehouse outside the city. Mira introduced me to their lead engineer Tarek and data architect Celine. They didn't care about fame, only vision. I pitched the project. They listened without interruption. Then Tarek nodded. "Let's build your version. No politics, no theft." We stayed up nights eating noodles, fixing bugs, arguing over design. But this time I wasn't alone. They trusted me. And I trusted them. Every step we took was fast and clean. Meanwhile, Agilent was busy promoting Kyla. She appeared on tech panels, fumbled through answers, and got applause anyway. But I smiled. She had the spotlight now. I had the storm coming. We finished our beta version in 6 weeks. It was faster, cleaner, smarter than the Agilent version. I named it NovaStrand. We pitched to 5 potential clients. 3 asked for contracts immediately. Airborne Incorporated filed our trademark and provisional patent. That same week, Kyla announced Agilent's version had delays. Investors got nervous. But I stayed silent. Mira said, "Don't speak. Don't tweet. Just scale." And we did. We pushed updates daily. Clients loved our pace. Tarek added a feature Kyla's version couldn't match. We gained traction. Quietly. Then one of Agilent's former clients emailed me. "Is this your real work? We'd like to talk." I knew the turning point was near. The game had just begun. I overheard them laughing in the boardroom, Kyla and Ryan. She said. She thought she was irreplaceable. But I turned her files into gold. He replied, "That patent will make us billionaires." My hands clenched. They used my idea. The one I'd worked on for 14 months straight. The AI engine with voice tracking, location mapping, and emergency detection. It wasn't just an idea. It was my life. And now it had Kyla's name stamped across it. I recorded the conversation from behind the wall. My lawyer said that might not be admissible in court, but it proved intent. Still, I needed more. So I emailed Airborne Incorporated, a rival tech firm I'd once collaborated with during a conference in Dubai. Their CEO replied fast. "We know your work. Let's talk." That night I stared at Kyla's smug face all over the news. She'd just been named Innovator of the Year. The award was based on my prototype. But the world didn't know that yet. They would. Oh, they definitely would. Airborne CEO Maya Blake welcomed me like an old friend. "We've followed your career since the Dubai summit," she said. I always knew Kyla wasn't capable of that invention. I shared my original codebase, timestamps, and designs. Maya was stunned. "You developed this alone?" I nodded. "From scratch." Kyla wasn't even in the department. She smiled. "Let's take this global." Airborne offered me a lab, a budget, and full creative control. They wanted me to rebuild my AI engine under their name, with full credit. But first, Maya had one request. "Let's beat Agilent to market." I stayed up for 36 hours straight, updating old models. Airborne's team, loyal, focused, treated me like I mattered. Every day felt like a reset. Hope replaced pain. Power replaced fear. Still, every time I closed my eyes, I saw Kyla at that press conference, wearing my colors, using my words, taking bows from my legacy. That's why I said yes. Not just to Airborne's offer, but to revenge. We did it. Airborne launched AeroCore, my AI invention, just 6 weeks after I joined. The tech blogs exploded. Revolutionary AI engine built in record time. Airborne Tech just outsmarted Agilent. Who is Gracia Morgan? That last headline hit me hardest. Finally, they knew my name. Kyla's stolen product hadn't even passed its second test phase. Meanwhile, AeroCore got approval from 3 security agencies in a week. Ryan Alex held a press conference looking pale. He tried to downplay Airborne's success. But someone asked the question, "Isn't this eerily similar to what Kyla launched?" He stammered, dodged, sweated. I watched it live, with popcorn, in my new office, where the name on the door read, Dr. Gracia Morgan, lead architect, AeroCore project. My phone buzzed. A message from Kyla. Just one word. "You'll regret this." I smiled. "Too late, sweetheart. You already do." 2 weeks after AeroCore launched, Agilent Technologies got hit with a subpoena. The lawsuit came from Airborne's legal team, and from me. We filed for patent theft, defamation, and loss of opportunity. The court wanted evidence. I had it all. Emails, source code, even design drawings in my handwriting. Kyla panicked. She tried scrubbing her computer, but my saved logs showed timestamps. Ryan hired an expensive lawyer. Didn't help. Airborne's legal rep stood tall in court and said, "This company built its valuation on a stolen dream." Reporters flooded the hallway. They wanted statements, photos, drama. But I stayed silent. Let the facts do the screaming. Meanwhile, Kyla posted on social media like nothing was happening, smiling at parties, pouting beside yachts. But I knew what was coming. So did she. You can fake many things, but you can't fake proof. The courtroom was packed. I wore a plain black suit. No drama. No diamonds. Just dignity. Kyla walked in with oversized sunglasses and fake confidence. Ryan didn't even make eye contact. The judge asked for opening statements. Airborne's lawyer stood. "This isn't just about technology. It's about truth. About a woman being erased after building something brilliant." He displayed my diagrams, showed video of me presenting my AI in 2021, long before Kyla joined Agilent. He even played the secret recording I took behind the boardroom wall. The judge listened quietly, then looked straight at Kyla. Her smile faded. "Miss Kyla, can you explain how your name appeared on a patent submitted before you were even hired?" Silence. Cameras clicked. The gallery gasped. "And me? I didn't say a word. Because I didn't have to. The truth was finally speaking. Late one night, I met with my allies from Airborne Incorporated. No more secrets. No more fear. Gracia, if you built it, you own it, said Darren, their lead attorney. They offered legal help and full support. I shared the original blueprints, coded files, and voice recordings, everything I had. Mila, the data security expert, traced Kyla's edits. She only changed the font and slapped her name on it. I was shaking. All that work, stolen with a click. Airborne CEO Monica said, "We'll help you reclaim your name and your work." They were building a global version of my system. Monica offered me a full contract, lead role, and full rights. But I needed one more thing first. To show the truth to the world. That night, we planned a full reveal. A tech summit was coming in 2 weeks. Agilent was going to present my system. But this time, I would be there. In the audience. With proof. Kyla and Ryan didn't know it yet. But their biggest show was about to become mine. And the $441 million secret would finally come home. The Global Tech Summit was the biggest event of the year. Agilent Technologies planned to reveal Kyla's breakthrough system. Only it wasn't hers. It was mine. My allies at Airborne helped me register all my code with timestamps. I had documents, screen recordings, and logs. We had submitted them to a private legal team. I booked a front row ticket using a different name. Wore a dark blue blazer. No one recognized me. Kyla was on the speaker list. Ryan would introduce her as Agilent's genius innovator. The betrayal still burned. But now, I had the power. Darren leaned toward me, whispering, "When she speaks, we press go." That night, my story would go live. Across 37 tech news platforms, all at once. A countdown had started. Not to revenge, but to truth. And truth always wins. The summit hall filled with over 3,000 people. Cameras flashed. Investors smiled. Ryan walked on stage, fake charm in full swing. "I'm proud to introduce the mind behind our breakthrough tech." He smiled too wide. Dr. Kyla Briggs. Kyla stepped out in heels, black dress, and confidence. Like she owned it all. I sat still, hands gripping my tablet. The evidence was ready, one tap away. Kyla spoke. The inspiration hit me one night after a long coding session. Lies. She hadn't written a single line. She kept talking, praising herself, mocking the poor intern who helped her once. Me. My heart raced. Then Darren whispered, "Now." I tapped the screen. Emails. Code. Videos. Proof. All went live. Within seconds, phones buzzed. Screens lit up. Heads turned. I stayed seated. But my name, Gracia Hall, was now everywhere. Kyla's voice faltered. She looked around. People staring at their phones. Whispers grew. Ryan's face twisted in confusion. One reporter stood. "Miss Briggs, did you actually write the code?" More reporters followed. Questions fired like bullets. What about Gracia Hall? Is it true she was fired unfairly? Did you steal her system? Kyla froze. She stammered something about collaboration. But it was too late. Behind her, the big screen flickered. A live feed showed documents, code creation dates, file logs, my video explaining every step. Someone in the audience shouted, "You stole this." Security walked toward the stage. Ryan tried to stop them, but they had orders. Agilent's board was watching the live stream. A message popped up behind Kyla. Internal investigation started. Presentation halted. She dropped her mic, stumbled off stage. Humiliation written all over her. But I didn't smile. Not yet. Because this wasn't just her fall. It was the start of mine rising. The fallout was fast. Agilent's legal team reached out to me within 24 hours. They offered a public apology. I declined. I wanted action, not just words. They fired Kyla. Ryan stepped down. The board issued a press release. We acknowledge Gracia Hall as the original inventor. Tech blogs exploded. #Gracia code trended worldwide. I did interviews. Told my story calmly. About the work, the theft, the truth. Airborne signed me as Chief Technology Officer. Monica gave me full creative freedom. And my system? We rolled it out under a new name, Nova Hall. Investors came flooding in. And the best part? I donated the first $2 million earned to help young female coders like me. I built something from pain, but I turned it into power. And though they tried to erase me, I rewrote my name into history, not with revenge, but with results. Ryan's assistant called me. He wants to meet. Alone. I agreed. I met him at a private cafe. He looked older, tired, and embarrassed. I know everything, he said. I stayed quiet. He slid a flash drive across the table. Proof Kyla faked her way into your system. I checked the logs. You designed the framework. Not her. I looked at him. Now you see it. He nodded. Too late. The board is furious. And Kyla's gone. She took investor money. Over $30 million. I didn't flinch. He whispered. You built it. I lost everything. I leaned in. You didn't lose it. You gave it away. I stood up and left. My silence was louder than any scream. Ryan called a press conference. He cried on camera. Gracia Morgan was the true architect. We regret what happened. His lawyer read a formal statement. I received full credit for the $441 million platform. The media ran headlines. CEO's girlfriend lied. Fired employee was genius all along. Airborne Incorporated reached out. They offered to fund my next project. Fully independent. No more stealing. No more silence. I signed with Airborne. I hired my own team. Ashley from HR joined me. So did Jonah, the coder Kyla ignored. We started fresh. No lies. No Kyla. No Ryan. Only truth. Only growth. Only me finally seen. Ryan lost his position. Agilent Technologies board replaced him with someone younger and honest. The company's stock dropped. Kyla disappeared. Some said she fled overseas. Others said she tried to scam another startup. I didn't care. My name was finally clear. My patents were filed correctly. Airborne Incorporated gave me full ownership of my work. I spoke at tech events. People wanted to hear my story. Women who had been pushed aside thanked me. I was no longer the silent worker in the back room. I was the voice. I was the power. I was the one they underestimated. Now I was the one they followed. The platform I built EXP. I walked past the Agilent building one day. It looked smaller now. Weaker. Ryan was gone. Kyla vanished. But I was still here. Stronger. Richer. Free. My new company just launched our second product. A security system built to stop what happened to me. It sold out in 2 days. I sat in my glass office, looking over the city. My team laughed beside me. Ashley said, "Funny how they tried to erase you." I smiled. They fired me, lied about me. But in the end, Jonah grinned. "You won." I nodded. And I did. I won quietly, then loudly, then completely. Because when they gave me nothing, I built everything. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more powerful narratives, and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what part hit you the hardest. Thanks for watching.